There's a new toy behind me. Can't see it yet. Bought a new toy today. I'm going to show you how to put it together. Okay, I'll show you. It is a bandsaw, Rikon 14-inch deluxe. So 10-326. And on top of that, I got the mobile kit with it, because everything in this shop has to move and it is getting a lot more cramped in here. So I am going to show you how put it together. Pretty much build your base, take the bandsaw out of the box, lay it, put your base on it, and then tilt it up, because it is just moi in this shop. I usually don't have helpers or people that help or visitors, so it's just gonna be me, and I will show you how to do it, and hopefully I can show you how to set it up, and we'll make some cuts and all that fun stuff. So let's get started. So one of the reasons why I bought this one is because of price. I heard a lot of people have some good quality cuts. Once it's set up, it's good to go. It's a very sturdy saw. Let's put you back here. It's a very sturdy saw. It's good for resawing, which is my main purpose. I have a lot of like dunnage and loose wood, and with me starting the cutting board stuff, I need to be able to split maple down in half, like a 1-inch board in half, and all that fun stuff. So far, just sitting in a box, I like the way they package it. I like the fact that it's switchable, just like my table saw. I can switch it to 220. At some point, I want to put some more power into this shop, so that way I can run 220 on that, 220 on this. 2-speed. So you run your high speed for all your woods, and then if you decide to cut PVC or really light gauge metal, I can drop it down to the other pulley, make it spin a little slower with a different blade, and cut whatever I need to cut there. So it's versatility for me. It was the toss up between this one, the Laguna 1412, and then the Jet, but the Jet was a little on the underpowered side. This has got a horse and 3/4 motor. It's pretty good. So I'm going to show you how to put it together, and then we'll kind of go over it. two, okay. Okay, so this is on the stand. This is good to go. I'm putting the wheel kit on, and it comes in this box over here. It's pretty easy to put together. Once you get it onto the stand, then all you got to do is just this just bolts on like this. And then the back, you got 2 wheels. So you got this rod with a washer and a cotter pin that just fell. And there's 2 big holes, you just slip it through. And if nobody knows how a car pin works, it's a split pin. So as soon as you get it through your hole, you just kind of turn each end over. I'll show you. Just like that. So now I gotta take this crap off, slide the rod through, put a wheel on, and then do the same on the other side. So that's all it's to for that. So now we have a standing bandsaw. So now it's time to clean the table off because it comes pre-packaged in that machine oily goop stuff. My suggestion would be to clean off as much as the excess as you can with like paper towels or stuff, and then either if you have mineral oil or mineral spirits, that's a good one, but for most people they're not going to have that, so brake cleaner works just as good. And on top of that, if you want to protect it at some point, I'm going to try this called Glide Coat, and I'm going to try it on all my cast iron surfaces. So my planer, my table saw, my bandsaw, see how that goes. So in order to do this, you're gonna have to put that, because it comes shipped on a 45, so you're gonna have to put it down to flat so you can actually get it easy to put in. And then it comes with 4 Allen keys right here, and it's neat because it comes as a little pencil case full of tools and nuts and bolts. So that's kind of quirky, kind of neat. So I'm gonna clean it off and put it on, and I'll show you how to do it. So this is the next step for me. It's all clean. Well, clean as it's gonna get for now. Next step is going to be, I'm gonna take this stone and make sure there's no burrs, or make sure it's flat. This is just like a flattening stone sort of deal. It's machining side of me. Okay, there is a locking pin that's hanging. See it? Make sure that's out before you slide this on. Now in the manual, it tells you to do this with 2 people. Probably because the top heavyweight. See how it's kind of, whoop, I let it go. So all you want to do here is just get it like this, have your bolts right here, thread them in. And then the table won't go anywhere. First you gotta find the holes. Yeah, they're right there. This can come with a... It does. Don't forget the washers, like I just did. Let's try this again. Okay, I got 2 in. So to get the back 2, we're gonna have to tilt her up. It'll slide a little bit, but it'll be fine. Still, I got 2 in there. And yes, it is quite windy here. The only thing I'm kind of concerned is how much slop is in this. So to square up the miter slots to the blade, it's going to be a little fun. But for now, we're just going to tighten it down and see where it goes. So once you have the table installed on the trundle, now you have to somewhat square it up to the blade. They say to get a steel ruler that stretches across the table, which I have. Get it as close, well, you got to put tension back on a blade, so that way it's not flopping all over the place. Get it as close to the blade as possible without touching it, so you're pretty much level with the blade, and make sure you're not in the teeth. So make sure you're like in the middle of the gullet, because the teeth are like that. And then all you do after that is just, if you got a steel ruler, one that measures thousandths and stuff like that, you just measure each end, and whatever end is screwy, just kind of tap on the other end to kind of square it up. Get it squared up, tighten it down, check it again. After that's done, you're good to go. So after that, we're going to put in the leveling bolt, which is in the bottom back. So I'll tilt it up and I'll show you how it's done. One other thing I forgot to mention is the locking pin, and all it is just a pin that goes in between the 2 halves and puts it together. So make sure that's in before you do any of the other adjustments. So the next thing you're going to be doing is going to be making sure that the table is 90 to the blade. So make sure you have a nice machine square. The higher the better. This is a 6-inch, so it's good. And then what you do, mine's already square. Bottom's not. You might have to readjust. Okay. So there is a pin on the bottom that needs to get threaded in. And I will show you. So on the back of the machine, you have a threaded hex bolt with a nut, and make sure the nut goes in, obviously. This is your stop. So it's going to hit this. If you want a negative rate or a negative angle, you just pull that aside and it drops at 5 degrees. So in order to do that, you just put this in, you drop your table back down, you keep it loose, you make sure, let me put you back on the pod. You keep this loose, and you readjust the table until you get it pretty dang close. So this is already off, not off, but it's backed off, so it's not going to affect anything. Once you have this 90 degrees on the blade, lock it down, and then you can adjust your set screw back there. And you adjust it tight, unlock it, move it, put it back in the position, lock it back down, and check it again. The final way to really check it is to, once you get the blade to the point where it's going to run, get a piece of wood, preferably a 2x6, rip it up, and then what you do, you don't rip it all the way through, so you go a couple inches in, shut the saw off, and then you check it from the back side. So you take that piece that you already cut, you flip it around, and you try to get it in for the back side. If it goes in without any issues, you're 90 degrees. So now we're gonna put in the fence. And let me get him. So here is the fence bar, and it has these two things. You just throw them in, and it's got like little slots for a wrench. Just tighten them up. Put this in the holes. Nut and washer on the inside. And it's fence time. This just slides in like this. There we go. So it slides like that. Okay. So the thing of the knobs, this knob holds your fence in. It's like a big slot. There is a little aluminum slot that it goes into. This is how your fence moves back and forth. This knob and this knob adjust the fence this way. So if your fence is a little bit out, you loosen this one a little bit, adjust it to where you want it, tighten this back down, good to go. The other thing I put on, and it's just a cosmetic so I can show you it, is the resaw bar. This bar is used for stock, say you have nothing that's jointed or planed on either side and you're just cutting in half to book match or to whatever. You can use this as a guide. So all you would do is you would set your fence, say this far away. Whatever your marking is, set it to where it needs to be, and you can use this as a guide. You don't need the fence. Well, you need the fence to put this on, but you don't need a solid side, like a clean side, in order to resaw. All you would need is something to run on, so you need at least joint the bottom face that runs on the table. After that, it's pretty much going to be installing on all your knobs. So this goes on top of when you bring the guide up. The guide's up because the resaw is huge. You got a bunch of wheels and knobs to put on. This goes on the back to hold all the Allen keys. And that is pretty much it. After that, it is going to be adjusting your guides to whatever blade you have in here. Right now I have a 5/8 blade that came with the saw. I do have a 3/4 resaw blade coming that is pretty much going to be in this saw all the time. Unless I need to cut something else, then I'll change the blade to, I bought a 3/8 blade. But this is going to be, the main purpose of this saw is for resawing, splitting maple boards in half and stuff like that. So I'm not going to show you this process. It's pretty easy. There's just set screws inside. You just loosen them off, put them on, tighten them on. This is just plastic. It just caps. You get it on top and you just smack it in. And then this is self-explanatory. There's 2 holes over there for the Allen keys, and it's great for tool storage. But so after that, it's going to be pretty much setting this thing up, setting the guides and setting your tension, all that stuff. So I think I'll do a separate video on how to set it up. This is the assembly process. So I got it to this point and I'm gonna assemble it from here. So yeah, there's not much left. couple little things here and there, knobs. It's a great, nice little unit. I like it so far. But yeah. So I'm hoping everyone enjoys this process. It's not hard. The hardest part is pretty much the base, and it's just paying attention to what goes where. That's it. Even getting this thing off the ground is not that big of a deal. I thought it would be, because it does weigh, like the package is like almost 300 pounds, but it's not that bad. Once you get it to that point, it just tilts up, and good cantilever. So this is where I'm gonna leave it on this video. A lot of things on the saw I will go over on the next video. So I'm hoping everyone's good. Like, subscribe, comment, share, all that fun stuff. And hope everyone's good. I will see you next time. Bye for now.